Hey, yo, I want to give a special shout out to Cal Dental USA. They taking dentistry to the next level. I'm wishing all the employees, a real, just safe quarantine, man, during this time. I know it's tough. But look, if you need a dentist from LA to the OC, they got you covered, man. Like Hustle Man would say, the marathon continues. You heard?
Welcome back, everyone, to Rhodium Radio episode 340. 340. What do we need? About another 60 to reach episode 400. But before we get to that, I want to thank everybody who liked, comment, subscribed, unsubscribed, disliked. Doesn't matter. You guys are still watching. Everybody on the live chat, everybody who decided not to be on the live chat, everybody who shared. Much love and respect to you guys. I try to bring the best possible to this platform for your guys' enjoyment, and you guys are the ones that make it possible because you guys are my fan base, and I am eternally grateful for that. But before I introduce my very special guest, I have to give a shout out, and I will also repeat them at the end because these people made it possible for me. And the people that I want to give a shout out to, I want to give a special thanks to CMG of the Conscious Daughters, and also BTP Media. BTP Media, my boy Jeff Kwan. Thank you for that. And also I want to give a shout out to DJ Nasty Ness. If you guys didn't get a chance to ever check out Nasty Ness's interview, definitely check it out. He drops a lot of history. But my next guest that I have here is somebody that I heard of many years ago before I actually met him. And when I first met him, when I first met Money B, when I first met Shock G, when I first met Pac, it was all in the same day, the day when I went to the Bay Area. And it was actually like a dream come true because I got to meet some of the guys that I've been listening to for a long time. And you know what, man, when you meet like your heroes of music, you know what, man, it just means a lot. And to be able to sit down with this man years later is truly a blessing. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce the one and only Money B. What's up, my brother?
Tony A, thanks for having me.
You know what, man, I've been wanting to make this happen for a long time, and I want to thank the people who helped me connect the dots to have you here. Mm-hmm. You know, so I want to say thank you for being here. What I said just a little bit ago, I remembered, I want to give my boy Angel a shout out because I was at his house when the Humpty Dance first dropped.
Right.
And we were watching it on TV. And I was blown away because I've never heard or seen anything like that. You know, so, and all my fans know that I like things that are different, but different that are dope. But before we get into the history of Digital Underground, Shock G and Pac, I want to know the history of Money B. For an example, where is Money B originally from?
All right, before I get into that,
yes,
I want to just comment on something that you just said that resonated with me, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you said that, you know, we met so many years ago, and now we finally get to talk.
Yes.
And, it's amazing because people don't realize when we were in the thick of it, we were all so very young.
Yeah.
And we were moving so fast and trying to figure it out at the same time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So even though we all crossed paths and we were hanging out, and we probably weren't even mature enough to really sit down and have like real
exactly
grown people conversations. So, it's a blessing to be able to finally full circle come back and have this conversation with you.
Yes, sir. Because I was in my early 20s and now I'm 56. So to be able to sit here with you is
55 this year.
That's awesome, man. You know what? I don't mind my age. It's weird, Will.
Yeah.
People ask me, don't you feel old? And I said, no, to be quite honest with you, I'm 4 years away from being 60. And to be quite honest with you, I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I'm actually proud to tell people my age because, like you said, I feel great.
Yeah.
I'm still doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
And I think that should be like motivation,
Absolutely.
to share that information. Like, look, bro, I'm about to be 55 and I rap better than you.
Ooh.
Still. So what you know?
All good, my brother. So when I met you, it was 1992. What was taking place was the Gavin Convention. I meet you, cool, humble guy. You were showing us around. You were showing us your music. We'll get into that because I also have some pictures that I want to show you.
Sure.
But for people that may not know, where was Money B raised at? Where did you grow up at?
I grew up in the Bay Area.
Okay.
But, I think your original question was, what are my origins, right?
Yes.
So a lot of people know, but some people don't know that I was actually born in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
On the East Coast, right? But my father joined the Black Panther Party, I want to say 71 or 70, I forget what year. But then, 2 or 3 years later, he came back and brought me and my mom to Oakland because that's where where the party was based. And that's where I was raised, in Oakland, in the Bay Area, in and around the Black Panther Party.
See, I didn't know that, but now that makes me want to ask another question. What are some of your early memories of the Black Panther Party growing up in that environment, if you will? Because from the outside looking in, and I know this is not the case,
right?
People look at the Black Panther Party and right away they think racism,
right?
Which I know it's not. But can you elaborate a little bit more? What was it like growing up?
Actually, just growing up in the Black Panther Party, I went to the Oakland Community School, which was founded and run by the Black Panthers, Huey P. Newton and the Black Panther Party.
Yes.
And, I felt protected, right? Yeah. And you felt, it was like a sense of community that I probably haven't felt since.
Okay.
Being in that environment. A lot of people think like what you just mentioned, but people don't know that there were white people that that went to the Oakland Community School.
Oh, wow.
There were white people, there were Hispanic, there were all different races, and we were never taught to hate anybody for their race, if nothing else. Because remember there was I'm gonna mess it up, but there were other coalitions that worked in tandem with the Black Panther Party. I forget the names of them. Like it was a Hispanic one and other ones. So they were, it was all power to the people, not just all power to the Black people.
Right.
It was, it was about, equal rights, not more or better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was equal rights for the people of the community.
Yeah.
And that's what the Black Panther Party was fighting for. One of the things that I do remember, and I'll never forget, is just going to that school. I do remember, that the police were always surveilling, right?
Wow.
So we'd be out, you could see the helicopters always going around. And one thing that we were taught was not to trust the police.
Yeah.
And that you didn't have to be in the Black Panther Party to learn that.
Exactly.
Right? And not saying that they're, all are bad.
Right.
But the structure was really not for us, meaning the people in the inner cities and our communities.
Yeah. Okay. Now, knowing that your father's from Philadelphia and you guys moved to the Bay, now I'm kind of interested is what kind of music was played in your home when you were a kid? Like what would your mother, what would your father play if they?
When I was a kid, I remember, my dad used to like War.
Okay.
The Marvin Gayes. My dad was a huge Parliament Funkadelic fan.
Awesome.
My mom liked the Whispers. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes and all of that stuff.
All
and
the
all
good
of the
music.
stuff through the 70s, of course, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
You grew up with all of that. I do remember when I was a real young kid that, because my grandmother, that's who I used to stay with in Philly, and my dad has younger siblings that used to stay at the house. So there was always stuff happening.
Right.
And I remember, you remember the 45s, right?
Yes.
So I remember, and I'm not sure which one of my uncles or if it was my aunt, but I just remember as a kid, I would always see all of these 45s, and they all had this one picture of this little monkey looking dude. And I was like, who's this monkey man on these records? It was red records, 45s.
Yes.
And they all had the same picture of this crazy looking dude. When I got older, I realized those were all the James Brown's 45s.
Oh, wow.
That they were there, So imagine if I would have collected them.
Yes. I'm a huge James
So
Brown fan.
yeah, those are the type of households that I grew up in. And then even as I got older, my dad introduced me into, with his, shout out to Steve Long, one of his roommates, just introduced me and my brother Cullen and my cousin Greg, alternative types of music like punk rock and,
oh, wow.
and the Cars and
just a different type of genres.
Different genres. So, I grew up appreciating so many styles of music. And then even in the early 80s, when I was getting into high school, I was introduced to reggae. And that's, to this day, I love reggae and dancehall music. Probably what I listen to more so than anything when I'm by myself.
It's funny because being introduced to dancehall,
Mm-hmm.
I always believed that that's where reggaeton came from.
Bro, listen. I was just, and everybody can get mad, but I always said, all reggaeton is 90s reggae.
Yes.
That's what it is. They just took 90s dancehall and put, Spanish lyrics over top of it. But that's literally what it was.
Yeah.
And obviously it's evolved, right? But
Yes.
I'm saying the origins of it, when, everybody, reggaeton is this new thing.
Yeah. No.
Bro, I had all those instrumentals on vinyl. I used to play them.
Now, being that your dad is from Philly, are you a Philadelphia Eagles fan?
No.
Oh, okay.
Niner gang.
Okay, Niner gang.
Damn day.
Okay. Are the Niners finally going to get a Super Bowl this year? They got a great team.
If you ask me that, I'd say that every year.
Me too. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah,
So I'm going to say we're going to win the Super Bowl.
yeah. Never know.
All right. Okay.
Probably will, but we probably won't.
You like any Philly teams?
Right now?
Well, yeah. I guess growing up,
Let me say. Growing up, I did, Dr. J is my favorite basketball player of all time. So I did like the Sixers when Doc was playing.
Yeah.
When they had Andrew Toney, Maurice Cheeks, I think Henry Bibby, and, that squad.
Yeah.
With Moses Malone, and they won the chip.
Yeah. That's
82, 83, right? I was a Sixers fan then, but when Doc retired, it kind of morphed over to the Warriors, as a young kid. And then also in 1980, when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, I was wanting them to beat the Raiders. Right?
Oh, okay.
And then when the Raiders beat the Eagles, right, I think I was like 11 or 12, and I bet my whole allowance on the game. Bet my dad's roommate, and he took my money. And I cried, and they had a parade in Oakland. I was like, man, fuck the Raiders. And I was like, you know what? I don't like the Eagles either. And that's why I don't understand anybody that's longtime Eagles fan.
Right.
Be like, I like the Eagles and I like the Raiders. I got some family members
Right.
that play that side. I can like, you ain't really an Eagles fan if you like the Raiders anyway. Talk to me.
All good, man. You know, I'm not a Raiders. He's a diehard Raiders fan. Well, kind of, but all my homies are all diehard.
Yeah,
Raider
but the
fans.
Raiders have been irrelevant for so long. I don't care about
There you
them.
go. Exactly.
I feel sorry for them sometimes. I feel like
My condolences. Yes.
Yeah. I root for Las Vegas. Here
All
and
good.
there.
Money, you come from a big family, like a lot of brothers, a lot of sisters?
No, I have a brother and a sister.
Okay. Growing up, any sports?
When I was younger,
Yes.
in elementary age, I played, I tried. Well, the first thing that I probably excelled at was basketball because I was left-handed and I could handle the rock. But very soon, people started to grow and I didn't. So that dream left very fast.
Okay.
Tried baseball, sucked. And football is my favorite sport.
Absolutely,
But,
mine too.
Obviously, but I actually wrestled in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was a wrestler.
That's dope. Growing up, any instruments? Piano, guitar, drums?
No. No, I was gonna say something, but I ain't gonna say it. What I used to play, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Play what you like.
Yeah, play what you like. I never played an instrument, and here's the thing. So when we started to take off, right?
Right.
So you had a lot of cats that were in our crew and around our crew that were very true and great musicians. Of course, Shock G,
Yeah.
Pee Wee was dope. Jay Beats, Jeremy could play the drums and play, and Fuse used to be a counselor at music camp, so he knew a bunch of dope musicians.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I need to learn something. So I went to community college in Oakland, right? And in Alameda, which is right next to Oakland. But every time I would get close to the end of the semester, we would have to go on tour. And so if you miss a certain amount of class, you fail it. You don't get it. You can't pass because you haven't spent enough time in the class.
Yeah.
So I think I went to community college like 3 different times and mainly to try to pick up and learn music theory and pick up an instrument.
Yeah.
And I just could never finish it.
Yeah, I tried taking piano and I just dropped out. I didn't like my teacher, but it was probably my fault, and I'm just using the teacher as an excuse.
And then at some point, I was trying to self-teach myself, and that lasted not very long.
Okay. Now, Money, let me ask you this.
Sure.
My first experience of hearing rap was in 6th grade when Rapper's Delight first came out.
Yep.
What was your first experience when you first heard it?
Rap?
Yeah, and if you can recall, who was it or what was playing?
Bro, I think the first rap song that I really remember, like first time hearing it, was Rapper's Delight.
Wow.
That was in 79, right? And I remember I was at the Oakland Community School, right? And we used to get bussed. There was, we had vans and buses because everybody, to be in that school wasn't like you live in that neighborhood. You lived all over.
Yeah.
Right? So we would and a lot of us would they had dormitories where we would stay during the week.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends, we'd go, home, right?
Yeah.
So we were always catching, after school, there's a bus that would take us where we needed to go.
Yeah.
So they were always playing the radio. And I just remember being on the bus one day after school and that record came on. And I never heard anything like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is,
Yeah.
And I was hooked from there. Even though, right, there was a hip-hop scene on the East Coast in Philly, and even if it wasn't necessarily the rap records, it was still the hip-hop culture was brewing.
Yes.
Right? So, I was around it,
Yeah.
but Rapper's Delight I believe is the first rap song that I heard on the radio.
You know, I've had some legends here, like to name a few. Lonzo from the World Class Wrecking Crew, Arabian Prince, former member of NWA, and somebody I'm sure we all know, Violet Brown. And I asked them, you know, you guys were in the business when rap was blooming, rap was taking off in the very beginning. What were people saying about the genre of rap when it was coming out? And they all said the same thing. It's a fad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a fad. It's going to go in and out. All my brothers said the same thing. Yeah. It's a fad. It's a fad. Don't even waste your time. It's stupid. It's gibberish.
Like disco. It's going to go and come.
Yes, just like that. And rap, one of the elements of hip hop, has changed the world. Has really changed the world. It's gone global.
Global, multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's global. It's in every corner of the globe, right?
Yeah.
And it influences everything that our culture has infiltrated every other culture.
Yes.
And not in reverse.
Yeah.
So that's how powerful hip hop is in our culture.
You know, one of my boys called me. He DJs globally. Mm-hmm. He's from Harlem, New York, and he was DJing on the Sea of Galilee in Israel. Mm-hmm. And he calls me. Okay, obviously there's a time difference. He calls me and he goes, Tony, what's up? You know where I'm at? No, I want you to listen. And he's playing one of mine High C songs. Mm-hmm. And I said, where are you at? I'm in Israel. I'm on a boat on the Sea of Galilee and I'm DJing on a cruise. And I was like, you're playing my song right now? Yes. I just wanted you to listen to it, bro. And just to think that on the other side of the world, you know, he was over there playing it just blows my mind, bro.
Well, weren't you with us when we went to Germany?
No, I didn't go.
You didn't go?
That was the one that I talked about.
I can't remember, but we had to be there. But
okay, when we were told that we were going, I asked my manager, rest in peace, Steve Yano.
Oh, and share the story. We were on Hollywood Records.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
But I'm saying we went to Germany. It was like a promo tour.
Yes.
High C, Raw Fusion,
Organized Confusion,
and Charisma.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Who was, he was just being signed to Hollywood Basic.
Yeah.
And he was tragically killed before his career even got to take off.
Yeah.
Shout out to Peanut Butter Wolf.
Yes.
He was the DJ.
Yeah.
He was there.
So Steve, my manager, calls me and he goes, hey, you guys are going to be going to Germany. And then I remember I was working on some music that some guys wanted me to do, and they had a budget. They just got signed. Mm-hmm. And then he said, it's a promotional tour. And I was like, man, I'd rather stay here and make some money. I go, I'll catch the next one. That's what I said. Mm. And I never got asked to go back again. So I was like, that was the one trip I missed. And let me tell you something, I was an idiot. And this is why I encourage the young heads today, the youngsters, that if you get invited to go, especially if you're getting paid, take the trip. Because I got invited to go to Japan. I got invited to go to Canada and Australia. And I kept saying, I'll go the next one. And then never reached out again. So I never got to go.
Yeah.
Because of my dumbass. So anyways. That's,
live and we learn, right?
Yeah, yes. So now, okay, we were talking about the hip hop was just a fad, but it's gone global. At what age would you say, Money, that you started to dabble in writing?
I probably started writing and not sharing with anybody. Mm-hmm. Well, first and foremost, rapping and writing is two different things, right?
Please explain that.
So when I say that is before I was actually writing.
Yeah.
Me and my brother would just mimic and learn the raps of all of the groups like Run DMC and Treacherous 3 and Fearless 4. And that's kind of like how I started, just learning and in the mirror, acting like I was them, and just but actually rapping the whole song, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know when I just started having my own thoughts and ideas and kind of jotting them down, but never really sharing with anybody. It wasn't until I was in the 9th grade that I actually recorded something that I let somebody else hear.
Oh, okay. Now, was it to an original beat or was it to an instrumental?
No, it was to the instrumental of Jam Master Jay by Run DMC. That was my very first recorded rap.
Oh, okay.
And it was this dude, he was a bully. I was going to Berkeley High, 9th grade, and he just used to talk a lot of shit about everybody. And, he's a bully.
Yeah.
Right? And I was small. I wasn't loud, so I couldn't cap and talk shit as loud as he could and make the jokes and make everybody laugh. So, but I did have equipment and I had a tape deck and a turntable and records.
Right.
So I used my resources. I went and made a rap about his ass, and I let a couple of my buddies hear it, and they loved it, and they was like, let me let somebody, and it kind of spread around the school.
Right.
And then the dude found out that I made the rap,
Oh,
so I had to duck him for for about a week or two. He
Wow.
was trying to kick my ass, but that was the beginning.
Okay. Now, how far do you go back with Shock? Was this somebody?
Wait, you know what's crazy?
Yes, sir.
That story I just told you.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So the dude, he was we're in the Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he was from Sacramento, and he used to always talk about Oak Park Bloods, whatever the fuck
Right.
back then. And it's crazy full circle because this Shock G beer is brewed in Sacramento, and it's done at Oak Park Brewery.
Oh, wow.
So that's super crazy.
Yes, that is super
So
crazy.
my first rap was a result of some dude from Oak Park, and our great beer is a result of fine craftsmanship in Oak Park.
After your guys' music goes through the roof, did he ever try to be your friend?
Yeah, we was cool. You
Oh,
talking
okay.
about that same dude?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he was just a clown who just always talking shit. The one of them dudes.
Yeah.
But he was also a gangbanger from Sacramento.
Okay.
And he was a scary dude, right?
Yeah.
But fuck you up, Money B. Then the next week, like, oh, Money B. Da 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 da.
Let me get an autograph, Money B.
Yeah, he was just everybody know them dudes just talking shit.
Yeah, of course.
You don't pay him no mind.
Yeah, that's the best thing for you to do, pay him no mind.
Yeah.
Now, but let me go back to a question before we get to Shock. First job you ever had?
First job, it's kind of a two-part
Okay.
type deal. So the first job that I had where somebody gave me money to do something
Okay.
was when I was a summer in Philadelphia where my grandmother, she knew a dude who had like a little shop, like a corner store or whatever. He used to give me quarter something to sweep.
Oh, okay.
Now, quarter back in the 70s, you could buy penny candy. So you could buy 25 of something, 25 cents.
Yeah.
So you make 40, 50 cents. That's a soda, chocolate bar, and some candy.
I mean, remember $1 you could buy chips or soda, candy, and get change left over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that it worked. But the first job that I had, I was actually got a paycheck.
Yeah.
I worked at it was a summer program. I worked at UC Berkeley, on UC Berkeley campus, doing like I don't know if you want to say custodial gardening work, whatever that job title was, meaning that you have to be up and be there at 5:30, 6 in the morning, and you're either working, cutting, trimming shit, cutting the lawn, or you're sweeping and cleaning up bathrooms on the campus.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that was my first job.
Okay. I think mine was working at a video store.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s. I enjoyed that job.
Yeah, and I just remember, because I had to because if you're a minor, you have to get a work permit.
Yes,
So
that's
I had
right.
to get a work permit to work there. It was a summer deal.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
That's how I bought my first dope sack.
Yeah. 50 double up.
Yes, sir.
Now you know what? So is it safe to say that you were in the Bay already in the 80s, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, 80s.
Like I said, we came, I was there since 1973.
Okay, 73.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I was 3, or I believe I was 3 or 4. So it was 72 or 73. It's kind of fuzzy.
Give us a picture of the Bay Area, how it was in the 80s.
What?
Yeah, how it was in the 80s, especially when rap was starting to take off and the crack epidemic hit?
Well, that's the craziest part of it, is because, like I said, that's where, and I believe, and I think, there's some proof to it, is that Oakland and the Bay Area is one of the first places that they sort of interjected crack to break up the Black Panther Party and just the social awareness that was going on in the Bay Area at the time. They needed to break that up and destroy that.
So they threw that out there.
It was heavy in Oakland and in the Bay. So just growing up, I say, I survived.
Yeah.
The mid and late 80s.
Yeah.
Because, when that was happening, that was, I was 14, 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
That's when you start to shape what you're going to become. And so many people I know just got caught up in just that. And their parents smoking it, because it was cool in the early 80s, if you, hit a little cocaine, or if you, freebase.
Right.
That was the party, that was
Yeah.
the party thing. When the crack came, it just kind of turned into a whole new situation, and people couldn't handle it.
No, they couldn't handle it. I understood, and I'm sure a lot of us understood when Public Enemy came out with Night of the Living bass hits.
Right.
Man, because that was really real. And then, at least here, and I'm sure I could say the same thing over there, gang violence was also at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I know that you guys down here, y'all had the battle ram.
Yes.
We didn't have that. And it was, and I don't know why it was different, but I used to, I would see the news and see what was happening down there. So it was just as crazy, maybe in different ways.
Yeah. I remember, what was it?
But I like the song.
Yeah, exactly. Toddy T.
Yep.
Yeah, when he came out with that, I was like, damn, he actually wrote a song about that shit.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Damn it.
Now let me ask you this. Before the Shock G, before the Tupac, before the Digital Underground, was Money B already having a buzz on the street with your writing and you taping yourself? Or how did that happen? How did that come about that you ended up meeting them?
Well, yeah, because like I said, once I did that,
Yeah.
Kind of got around that, I could make these, tapes.
Yeah.
And let me be very clear. It all started with Too Short, right? He was making the tapes. So that was the blueprint, right?
Right.
Of this guy that is got the streets popping, just selling cassettes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, that was initially the motivation and what we wanted to do. So, I had a really good friend, still a really good friend, Mac Moan, my best friend, and he was known in the streets in our neighborhoods, right? So, and I was more of in the house getting records, when I was really about the music, right?
Yeah.
Even though I was out in the streets with him, but he knew everybody. So when we got together, we would make the music, and he was the one that would, hey man, pop this in your car, playing it. So we kind of got like a little known just in our
Those street buzz.
Yeah, in our area. And then I hooked up with DJ Fuse. He was originally, he was DJ Goldfinger at the time.
Okay.
Right? And we got together and we were MGM, Money B, Goldfinger, and Mac Moan. And that's what MGM stands for.
Okay.
And then, and we were making, and then also, you guys is the Rhodium Blueprint, because we used to get the tapes. I don't know how I used to get the tapes, but I had the tapes with, the tapes that you guys were making, and Dre and Easy rapping, and Cube doing the A bars before the mix would come in and all of that. So me and Fuse were sort of copying that.
I didn't know that,
So
man.
so I got a cassette, because I keep all of that stuff. So I have a cassette where it was like our Raw Fusion mix, it was the DJ Goldfinger mix 88, right?
Right.
And throughout he's just cutting all of the popular music, but every 8 song I come in with an 8-bar rap.
Oh, wow.
rapping off of something. And that's kind of like how we sell it. So we were selling those tapes.
Wow.
So we were kind of, so before, in all of these, we were rapping over other people's music. We didn't have our own music at the time. But we were still sort of getting a buzz as being those guys that could do it, right?
Yeah.
Me and Fuse eventually put our money together, bought a SB12 and a 4-track.
Wow.
And we had I think it's called a Esonis, ESP?
Insonic?
Insonic.
Yeah.
We bought one of those keyboards. So we had the SB12, the Insonic, and a Tascam 4-track.
Probably the Tascam Portal one. That's what I used to make the mixtapes
Yep,
on.
with the orange knob.
Yes, that's it.
Yep, cassette 4-track. We had that in our room. So that was the studio. That was headquarters, and we used to make these tapes. Me and Moan rapping over whatever beat that we liked, Smurf Dance, whatever was popping at the time.
Right.
You know, MC Shy D.
MC Shy D, yeah.
You know, we I think I made one off of Rockbox too, if I can't remember. But and then I remember this too. Then I did a song rapping over Moments in Love.
Oh, yeah. By Art of Noise.
Art of Noise. Doom, doom, goom, 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 goom.
Yeah.
And I made a rap about this kid in our neighborhood. He was like 12, and him and his friend found his dad's gun in the closet. They were playing with the gun, and he shot himself.
Oh, wow.
And he got killed. So I made a rap about that. I think his name was Freddie or something. And then I performed it at a talent show. And of course, everybody around the way knew Freddie the Kid. So then that thing kind of started circulating. And somehow, you know, people started knowing about this videotape of me performing at this talent show.
Yeah.
That was kind of getting around. And then I did a talent show at Berkeley High in the 10th grade. And I took second, but really I won the talent show. Because the person that won was like this jazz dancer that nobody cared about. But, you know, after that, I was stamped. You know, everybody's like, oh, they're a rapping dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at school and in the neighborhood and in surrounding areas, you know, North Oakland, Berkeley, people knew. And then I had a cousin in East Oakland. I used to give her tapes. And one of her homeboys from, you know, people in the Bay, they know I'm talking about, from the Murder Dubs, he used to go to Berkeley High, and I used to give him tapes. So I used to take them out there. So people were hearing me out there and around. So little by little, you know.
A lot of people don't realize how far those tapes can travel.
Yeah, just tapes, hand to hand, and tapes, and people would take them back. You know, because people that go to these schools still live all over in different cities and different areas.
Yes.
So people would get a hold of the tapes, and then that's kind of how, you know, I was surprised because I thought just my friends knew. But then I remember going to my cousin, and they was like, oh, yeah, we be listening to your da-da-da over here, too. I was like, all right, cool. So went from there to trying to do every talent show that we possibly could do. Yeah. And we got a manager, Sleuth, and he suggested that we should change our name from MGM because there's a studio called MGM that if we do something, there's a possibility that somebody could say something. And also, Fuse was using DJ Goldfinger, and it was mentioned, like, you know, because Goldfinger from 007.
007, James Bond,
right. So, and Fuse actually came up with that name, Raw Fusion. And he changed his name to DJ Fuse. And obviously, we were just saying, like, because he had, you know, a great, you know, he had a soul influence, but he also had like a real rock influence. And then my, you know, boom bap hip hop plus reggae plus, you know, my parents' influence.
Yeah.
Mac Moan, you know, he had all the soul and the, like the blues. You know, his mom, Fruity, rest in peace, she used to listen to blues. And so we had all of these influence, and, you know, just, it was raw because it was hip hop, but fusion because we were infusing all of our influences
Awesome.
into what we were creating. And that's how we came up with the name.
Oh,
And
wow.
then we began to do talent shows and anywhere that we could, open up for this person from be at this church and opening up for this guy at this club.
Yeah.
Wherever we could do it. We were just really out there trying
to make it happen.
Trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
And now from there, so it seems like, I guess after you got your rap group going and started getting known amongst the community, is that when possibly caught the ear of Shock? How did that introduction happen between you two?
Shock. So in '88, right? Digital Underground, which me and Fuse weren't in yet, right?
Yeah.
They had a song called Underwater Rhymes.
Okay.
That they were promoting. They put it out through McCullough Records.
Okay, so independent.
Independently, TNT Records. They, Atron had relationships with, I forget who his friend was down here in LA.
Uh-huh.
Atron, he used to road manage for Ruthless Records.
Yes.
So he road managed NWA, and he worked for Jerry Heller.
Yeah.
He had relationships here in LA,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how he was able to start his label. And he,
Yes.
and so I know McCullough distributed Underwater Rhymes, and at the same time, Raw Fusion was doing all these talent shows. Digital Underground was doing those same shows, trying to promote their record, right?
Oh.
But and it was Shock G and Chop Master J, right?
Okay.
And then I don't know who they were using for a DJ. They didn't have a DJ, right? That's kind of how it came together because they needed a DJ, and at the time, me and Fuse and Moan, we were like the hottest.
Yeah.
We were moving
The hottest on the street at the moment.
Yeah, and and regardless, it's subjective what you think, but it was a fact that Fuse was like the hottest DJ around. Like
I could see that.
yeah, he was that guy. So, Chop Master J and Fuse had a mutual friend, and basically the meeting was set up so that they can get Fuse to be their DJ.
Oh.
So they didn't have no intention of
Wow.
messing with me. But, so what happened was, it was kind of like, and then Sleuth, who was our manager, was working with Atron. It was like, it was kind of like we were all
Right.
kind of like
Okay.
in the same circle per se. And it was just like, I know Fuse was like, yeah, well, I'll work with you, but I'm still doing this. So, Money B is probably have to be a part of it. So what we would do was Raw Fusion would open up, right? And then when it was time for Digital Underground, Fuse would DJ and me and Moan would be the dancers for Digital Underground.
Oh, wow.
And then after a while, then it got to be where we were dancing, and then I became the hype man, sort of like, you know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
to back them up.
Yeah.
And then that progressed into, from what we were doing, I think, and with the sales of Underwater Rhymes, like, I don't know exactly the facts, but Digital Underground got a single deal with Tommy Boy. So by the time the single deal was secured, I was full on in Digital Underground. And that's why that's the first record that you hear my voice on, Do What You Like.
Okay. Wow, man. Because all the pieces of the puzzle coming together, because I'm over here trying to guess how it all happened. Yeah. And you're right here, sharing it with me. And I love these kind of stories because these are the kind of things that I like to ask the artist himself. Now, when you first heard or saw Shock G's music, what were your personal thoughts about his rap style? Because he's very different.
Well, remember the first thing that I heard was Underwater Rhymes.
Right.
And even before I met him, I had the record.
Okay.
And I thought it was dope.
Yeah.
Right? I just thought it was dope that he had this blowfish character. And of course, it was using Herbie Hancock, boom, boom,
right.
boom, which I had that record as well. And, it was funky. right?
Right.
But when I first met Shock, he was a different kind of dude. Just right off the bat, he didn't dress like any of my friends, you know. And even that very first meeting that we had to meet about being the DJ, because at the time Fuse was renting a room in my mom's apartment, so we lived together, right?
Awesome.
And so they came over, and Shock and Jimmy, Chai Master J, you know, they're like 6 years older than me, right? So when you're 18 years old, some 26, 27-year-old comes walking in your house, and your mom is like,
"What the hell is this?
Who is this?" You know, she's like, "What kind of trouble are you in?" Right? She
Right.
was very suspicious because it was, you know, we just didn't look like we hung out together.
Yeah. When you say he dressed different, can you kind of give us a picture?
Well, the very first time he came in, when he came to that meeting, he came in the house, he had his haircut was like this afro, but cut into a slant, right? He had on these white sweatpants, but they weren't like the cool sweatpants. They were just like some nylon, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he had on these Pumas with these tassels hanging out the shoestrings, and he had on this jacket, and the sleeves was real short, and he didn't. I'm not even sure if he was wearing a shirt or you know. It was just, he just
he was different. Yeah,
yeah. He like it wasn't. It wasn't hip hop. I was, you know, I'm dressing in the Run DMC jogging suits and the Adidas and all of that. You know, he was hip hop, but he was more like your, you know, probably your 1977 hip hop, or you know, because that's the school that he comes from.
Yeah.
So you know, he was still rocking that, but plus with his own unique style to it. So it just was different. He's always had his own unique flavor and style, which, you know, even from the beginning, I thought it was strange looking, but I always appreciated it.
Yeah.
You know, because whether, you know, you walk in a room, you're going to look at him for sure.
You know, he uses his normal voice when he on some songs,
Mm-hmm.
and then others he goes into the Humpty. Number one, I thought it was brilliant. What were your thoughts on that? Did you ever think like just use one, or no, the versatility's dope? Like, what were your thoughts on that?
It was always dope, right? Because, you know, like I said, remember he had Blowfish before.
Yeah.
And then even on the B side of Do What You Like, right?
Yeah.
There was a song called Hip Hop Doll. And he was the hello, my baby, hello, my darling. He was doing that. So, you know, from the beginning, he always had that, you know, different personas. And even he did all the artwork, right?
Oh.
On all of the single covers. He drew the Humpty Dance cover. He drew Do What You Like.
Yeah.
You know, he was a really good artist. And even as an artist, he was rockadelic.
Oh.
You know, so he had a persona even for himself as the artist.
Right.
As an artist, you know, he was rockadelic. So.
Wow. What do you think? I can't ask him this, obviously. Rest in peace, Shock. Where do you think that inspiration came from to do what he did? Did he ever share that? Or did you know?
He did share it. You know, because Humpty Hump's name is Edward Ellington Humphreys III, right? Mm-hmm. So Eddie Humphreys, right?
Yes.
So from what I understand, between stories that Shock would tell and even his brother Kent, it was a mix between three people, right? Mm-hmm. There was some dude in Tampa where he grew up that was like this real loud, boisterous, braggadocious type of dude that had that flavor.
Yes.
And then it was somebody else, right? And then Shock's dad is Eddie Racker II. So Eddie Humphreys III. So he's the third Eddie.
Okay.
Get it? So he's some of the name he modeled after his dad's name, right?
Right.
And then the attitude and the style was between two other cats that I think might have been one of his uncles, and then was another dude that was just running the streets out in Tampa that kind of That was the motivation to form this character, right?
Yeah.
But the nose thing, which is interesting, is so the first time you saw Humpty Hump was in a Do What You Like video,
Yes.
right? Shock said that when we did that video, even after the video, Humpty Hump didn't exist. Even though he did the character in on the record, it didn't have a name. But when we did the video, on the way to the video, he said he stopped by like a novelty store.
Yeah.
And he just grabbed a bunch of different noses. So he grabbed the Groucho Marx nose, he grabbed like a pig nose, he grabbed these other funny looking so he just grabbed things to maybe, to try to kind of just give flavor to the video. And it just so happened when he did that, it caught on.
Bro, I mean, when I hear stuff like "I like to bite," "Do what you like," and like all of these lyrics that he did on those songs, did he have that personality? Was he like a comedian type of guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we all were.
I have a Shock G story, but before we do that, I do want to bring up the pictures. Can you bring up picture number 1? Let me see if I can bring them up here as well, so that in case you can't see them, I have them here. But I want to. What picture is that? Let me see. Oh yeah, we had went to this. I believe this was a college radio station. Let me know when it's up. We had to see it right here. Do you remember that? I believe it was in Berkeley.
Yeah, Cal-X.
Okay,
So that was the other thing too with me and Fuse. We used to go up on the weekends and do the hip hop show on Friday nights with Ben Nickelberry, who started the label that at birth Dilated.
Oh, okay.
And Davey D.
Okay, and let's go to the next one, picture number 2. Okay, then we went to a record store. I don't know if you've ever seen this picture right here.
That was
it Leopold's?
That was Leopold's, because that's what's her name? I want to say Nzinga. She because her and her husband used to. Yeah, it was Leopold's. They used to run the Leopold's on Telegraph and MacArthur, I believe.
Is that still there?
Around that way. No, it was like 27th. No, it's not there. So Leopold's closed down.
I was trying to Google that the other day.
Because they had one there and then they had one in Berkeley. Right?
Yeah.
T's Wowzies was in East Oakland. That was with Moses.
Okay. Let's see. Let's bring up picture number.
That's messed up. Anybody that's watching this, if in the chat, if you guys remember her name, because she was a pillar in the hip hop scene at that time. Because Leopold's was where you would go.
Yeah.
To, get the new stuff, see what was happening, and even labels would come to Leopold's and ask them what's happening in the Bay. And so if you were making noise, and on the scene, then they would say, well, these kids that's doing this and doing that.
Yeah, I brought out a few pictures, but I still have some outside of Leopold's where you see the sign where me, High C and Live.
And Daria was at the one in Berkeley, and I think she was slightly responsible for us even getting to deal with Tommy Boy, because they were asking what's hot, and we were hot.
Yeah. And then there's this one when we went to Fuse's apartment.
Yep, that's the penthouse.
Yeah, that was
right by the lake.
Bro, I'll tell you, when I first saw Fuse, I believe it was in the Humpty Dance video, I said to myself, because my background's being a DJ, I want to meet that guy. So he didn't know that I was geeked out when I met him, bro.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's go to the next one. And then I think we all took our posse picture. This one right here. You want to give the names of them right there?
Yep. So you got, let's go from left to right. Of course, you got High C, your guy, label mate. Then you got Superfly up there up top.
Yeah.
You got me. And then right under me, that's Mac Moan, who I was talking about when we started. So that was my best friend that when I first started.
Yeah.
He was the one that really sort of pushed the narrative to cast that was like in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, check this guy out, right? Check
Okay.
my guy out. So me, him, and Fuse, we were We were MGM
Yeah.
that formed into Raw Fusion. Just to the left of him is my man Steve, who was Dazzle of Razzle Dazzle. Those were our dancers for Raw Fusion and Digital Underground. And if you look at the Humpty Dance video, the dudes with the high tops is doing that crazy spin. That's him, right?
Oh, okay.
And then to the right of Fuse is Big D, Dion Evans, Big D the Impossible. And he was Tupac's first. Well, first of all, he's one of my good friends. We grew up together.
Yeah.
Right. And he was Tupac's first DJ, and he produced the majority of Tupacalypse Now, Tupac's first album.
Oh, wow.
He produced Changes. He produced a lot of stuff for Pac. And Dion also produced Neo's first album as well.
Really?
Yeah. Rest in peace. Big D, that was my guy. And then right above him is AMG.
AMG. Yeah.
And then in the middle, some Mexican. I don't know. I can't really figure out how he even got there. Tony, hey.
Got there by van. That's what we drove up
Right?
there. Yeah.
I think we saw him at Home Depot and
Yeah.
had him come up. But yeah, he was cool.
Yeah. Thank you, man. But I had a great time that day, bro. And,
Oh yeah, we had a ball.
Let's go ahead and put the next one. I believe I took another solo picture because I was in love with Fuse's little Gemini mixer. If you could see that little mixer right there.
Yeah, and that's the Radio Shack.
Yeah.
You get that at Radio Shack. So when that was the one that you would get. That was the first one that we got. And then you had the Radio Shack reverb, like echo.
I still have
thing.
my little reverb, yes.
Yep. So you had that Gemini mixer, and you had your little echo chamber thing.
Yes.
You were set.
Yes. Then there's let's put up the next one. This one, you guys were giving them away, and I think this is because the album was called Sex Packets, and you guys were giving away these little condom-looking things that had a candy inside.
Yep.
And I got 2 of them, but I only scanned 1.
Yep. Yeah, so these were the original sex packets that we used to just leave everywhere or hand them out at shows and at parties, and we had pamphlets. Yeah. And we were really pushing the narrative that this was a real thing. So people didn't know if it was real or not.
Right. So
that was sort of like the mystique behind it.
That one, I kept that one. I ate the candies, but I kept that, and I kept a sticker, Humpty was here.
Now, if you go back to that picture, what's interesting about it is, and I didn't even realize it back then, but the color of the text is the sex packets, color. And I'm not even sure if we even had the album cover yet. So I'm not even sure if that was influenced by the sex packets that we made,
right? Or
did Shock already know that we were going to do the cover like that?
Yeah,
because we were promoting it before the album came out.
Yes. Now the last one is when we were label mates. Let's bring that up. The last picture. That's your first glossy.
Yep.
So Raw Fusion right there, Hollywood Basic, Hollywood Records, which is owned by Disney. So, and big shout out to Casual T.
Cas T.
Yes.
You saw
Rockberry.
And
Funk and Klein, rest in peace.
Funk and Klein, rest in peace. And Tim Reed.
Tim Reed
Jr.
Yeah, man. I haven't seen him in a minute, but I follow him on Instagram, Tim.
Yep.
So much love and respect to those guys. Now, one of the things that I want to ask you is when did Pac get in the mix of all of this? When did that happen?
So, right around that time when we got the single deal for Do What You Like, right? A-Train had signed Pac's group, Strictly Dope, right? Who was Tupac, Ray Love, and DJ Diz.
Okay.
A-Train was good friends with Layla Steinberg, and she had these young cats that she used to mentor, manage. She had the poetries. She had a situation out in Santa Rosa.
Right.
And she just, she wanted A-Train to hear them. So Tupac auditioned for Pac first, but then the group auditioned for us, out in Oakland. They came to where Sleuth and Shock were living, and just right outside, they freestyled, no music, just dizzy beatboxing, and they auditioned for the group. And from that audition and us giving it the nod, you know, Atron went ahead and signed him. So even when we were working on Do What You Like and the album, you know, the Sex Packets album and all of that, they were around, right? They just had their own group. So it's kind of like we're label mates.
Yes.
Kind of like, so it's like DOC and NWA.
Yes.
DOC was literally in NWA, but Dre was like, nah, I'm keeping them,
Right.
you know, separate. So he was there the whole time. People don't know, some people don't know that, but he was his own entity, right? So from the beginning, from even my beginning, so shortly after I joined Digital, you know, within a year's time, because I got it 88 is when I joined, right?
Yes.
By 89, Strictly Dope was signed. So they got to watch our process of making the record, and you know, they were at the videos and all of that stuff. They got to see it. But their group broke up, right? I think Ray Love I think he was too young, and his parents or somebody didn't really want him to go forward. And, you know, Pac still wanted it, so Atron signed him as a solo artist. But it was taking so long in Tupac's mind to get signed.
Yeah.
He was threatening to do something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was right around the time when we were going to go on our first national tour with Big Daddy Kane.
Wow.
And, you know, Atron asked if we could bring Pac along because we might lose him.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Just keep him on the road, keep him busy.
Keep him busy, right? And it was a no-brainer because we already knew him and we knew what was going on. You know, only thing, my brother was supposed to go on the road as a dancer, and they thought I was going to trip. But I understood that my brother really wasn't trying to pursue a life in hip hop. At least I don't think.
Yeah.
Cullen. but you know, Pac wanted it. Shock was like, yeah. Atron was like, can we do it? And he brought him out. And from there, Pac took advantage of every opportunity that was put in front of him.
Wow.
Right? He came out, he did the work. Even when he didn't want to, he did it. Anytime when we were out, he was freestyling in every city. Whenever Shock would get on it, he was battling everybody. The other artists, anytime that he could freestyle for them, he would do that. So he made a name for himself individually on the road with us. But he networked and made all of his connections on his own work.
And that was what I was going to tell you what I heard, because I met Pac once, and I'll get to that. And I saw him another time, but I didn't walk up to him. Everybody always told me he had great work ethic.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're confirming that that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like it since.
Wow. See, and that's something that I think, and not to pick on anyone, that this new generation needs to hear: great work ethic in the studio. If you're serious about your craft, you really got to put your all into it. Because if you really truly do believe that this is your future, and you want to make a living in this, you have to have great work ethic.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you remember? I'm sure you do. The Digital Underground, they were like almost like trench coats, but I think they were like halfway. And they said digital.
We had long leather jackets, and that was part of our dress code. Was to we always had to wear black in public, and preferably wear shades, because Shock never wanted anybody to know exactly. You know, his vision was Digital Underground was going to be this big army. So if we kind of remained a little incognito, it could be interchangeable. We didn't know it at the time, but I understand now, because he was like, you know, you should always be mysterious.
That's what I was going to say.
Always wear these jackets and wear shades and wear black and when we're in public.
The time that I had met Pac, I walked up to him and he had the Gumby hairstyle and he was wearing that jacket. And I walked up and I was like, hey, man, you know, I just said, I love your shit, you know, and then I just shook his hand, exchanged a few words, but that was pretty much it. my story with Shock G was we were at the Gavin Convention 1992. And by the way, I'm a hoarder. I like to keep track of everything and keep track of my history. So I actually still have my Gavin badge
Right.
from 1992, San Francisco.
And people that don't know, the Gavin was it was a college radio charting and magazine. It's for college radio, hip hop. So they were based out of the San Francisco Bay Area. So they would have a convention. So like, people know about the New Music Seminar, Jack the Rapper, or what's the other one? South by, whatever that is.
Yeah.
The Gavin convention was the one that would happen in the Bay Area. And so many people's careers were launched,
Yes.
because of that.
Big
Shout
time.
out to Timbisa, still doing her thing. But the Gavin was important.
Yes. So we were there, and it's funny because as I'm walking in, I see Shock G.
Right.
And immediately, I'll be honest, I got geeked out. I got nervous, bro, because, this is Do What You Like, Humpty Dance, same song. And I look at him, he looks at me, and I keep walking, and he said this, and it humbled me, Tony A. And I turned around, and I said, I went like this. Honestly, man, I was like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, man, I like your record. And he was naming the songs off my record. He was, I like the way you did this, I like the way you did that, I like the scratching when you did on that song, Too Drunk to Fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, he's actually telling me this, man. For me, it was a very emotional moment because I looked at Shock like up here. I looked at all you guys like that.
Right.
So for him to acknowledge me, it really, really meant a lot. So much love and respect to Shock, because he took the time to show me love and respect and give me my flowers, and my record had just dropped and I didn't know what it was going to do. And, so I was just happy that he actually acknowledged us. But other than that, Money, what's one story that maybe you've never shared? One story possibly about Shock, and the other story maybe about Pac. I'm sure you have a lot.
Well, I was talking to my brother earlier. Let me share the story about Jack the Rapper.
Okay.
Right. So, I Get Around, right?
Yes.
Which was, a big record.
It still is a big record.
Yeah, it's still rocking, right? But it's just amazing how many times we've, I could count the number of times that we actually performed that record together with me, Shock, and Tupac, all performing at the same time, like on two hands.
Oh, wow.
Right? Maybe 10 times. And it's just like situations. Sometimes something happened and Shock can't be there. Sometimes, a couple of times, I couldn't. So one of the stories is we were at the Jack the Rapper in Atlanta. So it was like 90, when I Get Around came out.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to perform there, and Pac was on Interscope.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't on Death Row yet. But Death Row was popping, right? And it was around the time when Dre and Snoop made that record talking shit about Luke and what's the name of that record?
I know what you're...
And your gap tooth in your mouth and all that.
Yeah.
What's that?
So you meant these got to fit.
Don't.
Are you talking about Dre Day?
Fuck with Dre Day. Day, right. So that record. So, we down south. And so Luke came up with all his Miami boys to Atlanta to see, because it was like a Death Row showcase.
Yeah.
It was really an Interscope showcase.
Yeah.
And we were going to, Pac was performing, we were going to perform I Get Around. So in the sound check, we're in the ballroom, and all of a sudden, the doors, people were rushing to slam the doors and everything. And I guess the Miami dudes that came up in there bum rushed the hotel looking for Death Row people. And they wouldn't let anybody out or anybody in. So we were in there for like some hours, just kind of trapped inside this room.
Wow.
But we weren't supposed to perform till it was the convention. So I think we were supposed to go on at like 2 a.m. or something like that.
Wow.
I think originally we were supposed to go on at midnight, but they pushed it.
Yeah.
So now you guys are going to go on like 2 or 3, something like that.
Wow.
And so when it was kind of cool to go out, all right, go get some rest, get dressed, blah, blah, blah. Meet back down here like 1 or whatever, and we'll do it.
Yeah.
And I think I must have woke up a little late, and I must have got down there just after 1, but the same thing had happened. They tried to bum rush the thing, so they shut the doors again.
Wow.
So whoever was inside was inside. Naughty by Nature was performing, Diamond D, some other Interscope artists. It was like a mix.
Yes.
Right? And even in another room, Run DMC was performing there because I wanted to go see that, but I didn't get a chance to go see it. And all I remember is just standing outside helpless because they was not letting anybody in, and I could hear Pac performing, and then I Get Around comes on, and Shock and Pac doing it, and then when my verse come on, Big Stretch is rapping over my verse, and I was like,
oh man.
and that was just another time where by chance we didn't get to perform it together. So even when we were in the same vicinity a couple of times, and there's been a couple of times where something happened where Shot didn't make it, you know, he was on his way and Tupac didn't want to wait and we just did it without him. It was always something. Then another time we were all there, but a fight breaks out and so they shut down the club. It's
Wow.
just like, we probably attempted to perform it at least 20 something times and we maybe only actually got to perform it all together. Like
Right.
10 to 12 times. You know,
Yeah.
most of the time it got performed,
Yeah.
but just there's always something where either myself or Shock somehow didn't make it to the stage in time.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
And Pac wasn't waiting for nobody.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's just so many things that I want to ask you pertaining to that, you know, but now let me ask you this. As far as Pac, was there ever like a alone time? What I mean, like you guys are just conversating and, you know, I guess for people that will never ever get a chance to meet him, can you kind of describe, at least to you, what kind of friend he was, what kind of person he was to the people? Like, kind of give us a picture of what Pac was like inside.
Pac, he was loyal, even to a fault, right? So he was a loyal friend, meaning if he was really your friend, he was very loyal to you. If you were on his bad side, he was just as passionate in the opposite direction.
Oh, wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was a thinker. You know, he would question anything and everything. You know, and you know, he was raised to be that. Don't just accept anything. If you question it, ask the questions. So, and he wouldn't bite his tongue for anybody either. So, you know, that's what it was. Now, whatever people sort of, what they take from that, meaning when you're interacting with somebody like that, depending on how secure, insecure, or whatever it is, when somebody is that blatantly upfront about everything and straight to the point about everything and will tell you how they feel, whether you don't like it or not.
Yeah.
You know, some people took offense to that. You know, I didn't, you know, because I was raised around that.
Yeah.
You know, I understood where he was coming from. And you know, I have a lot of, you know, very confident people in my life and just how I was raised. So that didn't threaten me. I wasn't threatened by his confidence or, you know, what people say, oh, he's to this, to that. Nah, he was just, you know, real about it.
I mean, I know he was a young man when he was in Digital Underground. He was also a young man when he was at Death Row.
Yep. We all were young.
Yes. When he was at Death Row, at least in your eyes, was he still that same guy when he was in Digital Underground? Or was there a change? Did you see a shift of when he got out of jail and he started doing the things he was doing, being more vocal? Or have you always seen that side of Pac?
It kind of depends on exactly what you're talking about. And I'll just paint it this way.
Okay.
Right? So everybody on this earth, yourself, and myself included, we, we're influenced by our experiences.
Yes.
So if you get shot, you go to jail for something that, you don't believe that, you actually did, you are not going to be the same person.
Absolutely.
After that than before that, right?
Yeah.
So, your trust is going to be different. You have to move a little different, and that's from your experience.
Yeah.
Right? I've been robbed, right? Shortly after that, I moved a little different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just, you have to. And all the same time, all of us were young. So you're not the same person that you were at 18 that you was at 24, right? Or 23 or 22. And you're also not that same person at 30, right? And I just believe that, at least I'll speak for myself.
Yes.
I don't feel like I was mature, like a mature adult, probably until I was 30 or 30 something.
Yeah.
You're still growing and learning. We're always, I'm still growing and learning even to this day.
Even today, yes.
Right. But you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, you have to remember, though, that 9 months that he was on death row, right?
Yeah.
He was like 23 years old, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
24, however old he was. But he was young. He was 25 or younger, which, that's just coming out of your teenage years. And in our circumstance and what he had gone through and what he was going through, right? There was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Right. And also remember, he was taking care of a lot of people. A lot of people were dependent on him and his success. And he took on that burden.
Yeah.
Right? Took on that burden, and it was a lot of pressure to make sure that the people that he were taking care of, he was able to continue to take care of.
Yeah.
All the while, being in an environment that's also not safe, because these guys is running crazy.
Exactly.
You've already been shot twice.
Yeah.
Went to jail for set up by somebody that you thought was your friend.
Yeah.
All of these things going on at one time for a 25-year-old, that's a lot, man.
It's a lot.
So, I don't necessarily look back and super blame him
Right.
for everything. Now he could have done things differently, and we all wish that he would have.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, in another way, I was probably doing something just as stupid.
Yeah.
Just not
I guess.
with that.
Yeah.
Because I was riding around getting DUIs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing real dumb stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Driving drunk, guns in a, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
Just being stupid.
Yeah.
When I look back on it, I would, what was I thinking?
Yeah. Now, last one, and this one's like for me because, again, I only had one conversation with Shock G. And I wish, I'm the type of guy, like whenever, even I made Quik, I believe, in late 88. And I would love to see Quik work, I thought I was really good on the SB 1200. I'll be honest, I thought I was really good. But when I would see him, he was just a different type of good.
Yeah, he got that 3000 too.
Yeah.
He was just it. How did you meet Quik in High C?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah, I need to know. Now you're on the couch.
Okay. Well, 1987, long story short, in a nutshell, so that I can get to my High C story. I meet Dr. Dre at the swap meet, at the Rhodium swap meet in City of Gardena. Steve Yano, rest in peace, before he was my manager, he gave me my first job at 11 years old. I worked 3 years for him at a different swap meet. He tells me, this swap meet ain't cutting it no more. I'm going to go to another one. I didn't see him for almost 6 years. So I decided to go visit him because there was a buzz coming out of the Rhodium that Dr. Dre was doing mixtapes. So I heard one, and he said, "Yo, what up? This is Dr. Dre chilling right here at the Road and Swap Meet with my main man Steve. Make sure you guys come through and get your mixtapes, blah blah blah. Yeah, we're cold rock and shit. Quick. And I was like, how in the hell does he know Dr. Dre? Dre had just left the World Class Wrecking Crew. I didn't know anything about NWA, and I said, man, I gotta go meet Dr. Dre.
Right.
That's the World Class Wrecking Crew, Dr. Dre. Man, it seems like God had everything set up for me, because when I went over there, he was right there. And Steve was right here, and Dre was in back of him. And I looked at him, and I was like, holy shit, that's Dr. Dre.
Right.
And then there were two other brothers sitting right there, and Steve asked me, hey, man, so what do you do now? And I was like, well, I spin now, I DJ. Let me see you spin. And he had two 1200s and a Newmark mixer. So, of course, I went in and started scratching. Dre taps me in the shoulder, and he tells me he did a good job. And I thought that was amazing. He said, that's my cousin right here, Sir Jinx. And he says he's doing a song for a rapper named Dazzy D. He's producing it for a guy named Calvin Anderson. He owns the VIP Records in Long Beach. He's releasing it through a record label, his own, called Thin Line Records. And I said, okay, what do you need from me? He said, I'm going to give you my address. I live with him now. He had just moved in with Sir Jinx. I want you to come over and do some scratching, and we'll get it going. I said, all right. And then he goes, oh, and that's Eric right there. And I was like, hey, what's up, man? I didn't know that was Eazy-E, you know? So we went to Dre's house, Jinx's house that turned South Central. And once again, I saw Jinx. Q was living across the street. Dre was there, Dazzy D was there, so I did the scratching, and we eventually went to Echo Sounds. Dre tells me, after so many mixtapes that he had already did for Steve, he tells me, hey, bro, I like the way you cut and scratch. He said, I'm going to tell Steve for you to take over the mixtapes. And I was shocked. I was like, wait, for reals? And he was like, yeah, I think you're dope. I think you're really good. And I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, but we're still going to rap on them, okay? Yeah. And I said, okay. So some we did there, some we did in my house, a couple of blocks down the street. And that Dre would come over, Eazy would come over, and I didn't know who they were going to become. Right. So when people asked me, how was it working with them? I didn't know who they were going to become.
Same thing with Pac, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, so Dre, I just knew who Dre was, and I knew then I started learning who Eazy was going to become. Q came over, and Jinx came over, and Crazy D came over. So there was a lot of people that came over, and I didn't know. I met Young MC back then when he wanted his song on my mixtape, and he rapped to it. I met Tone Loc when they first dropped Wild Thing. Then Funky Comodina came back and rapped on my mixtape again, and they ended up, taking off. Everybody that rapped on my mixtapes not only ended up having a major record deal, but also ended up going gold and platinum. And so finally, Dre tells me, we're not going to rap on the mixtapes anymore. You're going to have to get somebody else because we're about to go on tour. Right. So I said, shit. So Steve tells me, man, there's a blood. He's way in the back. He's from Treetop Piru, and he's about 16 years old. He goes to Centennial High. He's from Compton. He kind of has like a little Eazy-E voice. Maybe you could try him. So I said, all right. During that time, I was working with a Mexican cat named S.A. Rich Rock from a group called Spanish Fly. It was either going to be him or High C. But this guy, S.A. Rich Rock, decided to get with a group. And I just said, okay, can't use them no more. So I told High C, just come over. And I was trying to find his style. I had a High C rapping to house music, to R&B music, to, Funky Comodina. And then finally, we found I found his tempo. Like it was like between 88 and 94. And I said, that's where he's good at. And then, lyrically, and I told him this, and I love Crawford. I didn't think he was that good. I go, Steve, I like his voice. But he asked me, would you DJ for me at Centennial High School? I'm performing. Yeah. When I saw him engage with the crowd and entertain the crowd, he had a great, if you will,
stage presence.
And that's when I told Steve, okay, this guy right here. During that time when I was working on just mixtapes and music for him, he always kept talking about DJ Quik, DJ Quik, DJ Quik. I didn't know who in the hell DJ Quik was, but he would bring me cassettes. And I thought DJ Quik was on a whole different other level. Because I'm like, okay, how come my music ain't sounding like that? Yeah. So I said, let me meet this guy. So we were at the studio, Audio Achievements, which isn't too far from here, where NWA recorded all their stuff. Quik invited Second to None. I believe AMG was there and Quik, and that's when I first met Quik. If you guys seen the the video Born and Raised in Compton when he's wearing the long trench coat and he's got a hat. He looked just like that when he came in.
Oh yeah, with the perm.
Yes, he looked just like that. Cool guy, man, real cool guy. And soon after, I wanted to get close to that guy because not only did I learn from Dre how to produce, how to sample, but I also wanted to learn from the best. Yeah. So if you want to learn from the best, get with the best. So I hit him up one day and I said, hey man, I got a SP1200 and I have no sounds. All I have is these 7 stock sound cards that come with it.
Right.
And he, you know what? And this I will still say to this day. Much love and respect to DJ Quik because he picked up his whole library and gave it to me and he said, take it home, take whatever you need and just bring it back. He didn't even say when. He just said, just bring it back. I went home and I copied every damn floppy disk, bro.
Yeah.
And that's how I met Quik, bro.
So did you produce Puppet?
Yes, I produced, there were 12 songs on there. I produced 9 songs. 3 of them Quik ended up doing because I was supposed to do 10, but one of them was samples we couldn't clear. We had a Bretton Woods sample, and we found out that Art LeBeau owned the rights to that Bretton Woods sample.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to let it go unless we gave him 100% of that sample. So we said no. So Quik goes, I got this beat. So he had 3 and I had 9. I produced Puppet, Sitting in the Park, Leave My Curls Alone, right. Froggy Style.
Leave my curls alone.
Yeah.
So, and the reason I asked, because it was always, because we were label mates, right? And High C is still my good friend.
Yes.
But I just remember in the beginning, I'd be like, this music sounds Mexican. Because he's choosing. And I was like, is he Mexican or is he from a Mexican neighborhood? Like, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Like, because Sitting in the Park and
Yes.
Puppet.
Yes.
He was using all of these, Hispanic hits.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I was like, is he from a Mexican neighborhood? But he's Quik's friend. I just didn't know
Let me tell you how that happened.
how that worked. And then the dynamic of that.
Yes. Let me share with everyone, if you guys never heard this story before,
Please.
how that happened. Steve says, he was the guy with the ideas. Let's do a song.
Genius, by the way.
Thank you, man.
But go ahead.
He said, let's do a song, an original song, just for a mixtape. So he wanted to do an original song, and I said, I don't know how to produce. And he said, well, you got a mixer right there. It's got a little sampler. It was a Newmark mixer with a little sampler. It sampled the bar. So I got substitution. So I just sampled it. I looped it, and I go ahead and press play. By this time, we're using the Tascam 8 track.
Yeah.
So I hit it. We played it for about 4 minutes, okay? And then I said, you know what? I think I want to change it up. On a different track, put Impeach the President. Like, so I said, for the first 16, substitution. For the middle verse, it's going to be Impeach the President. For the third verse, back to substitution. So we did it like that on an 8 track.
Sequencing.
Yes. So I go, let's do Puppet. Steve liked the way High C was clowning on the song. Mm-hmm. So what we did for 4 minutes, dropped the needle, I rode the fucking record. Mm-hmm. You had to ride them back then.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
So, okay, go to a different track. Let's ride it for 4 minutes.
Just go back and forth.
So, and then...
No, that's how Peter Piper was done, too.
Really?
Bob James.
Wow.
Well, go ahead, finish.
So what happened, I was thinking, like, I'm going to do this for my neighborhood, my homies that we hang out and slang and bang right here across the street. This is like for them. Mm-hmm. I was thinking neighborhood. It ain't never going to leave my block. It's right. Done in my room, So High C just rapped to it. He just thought it was funny, and I added some scratching, and Steve sold it at the swap meet. A month later, he said, this fucking tape, man, if I had a sound scan, it would have went gold. And I said, for real? And he was only paying me $200 a tape. Mm-hmm. He was selling it for $10. And I was like, for real? He goes, man, I've sold so many. And I was like, what's a many? Like over 1,000? He goes, more. And I was like, more?
So he said 10 times, he paid you $200 and
200.
made $10,000 plus dollars. And how much did you pay High C of that $200?
Nothing. Steve was supposed to take care of him.
Steve didn't pay you?
No, he didn't.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So a month later, and all my homeboys are bumping it, so I'm like, okay, cool. They love it. It's cool. It's some homie music. That's the way I saw it.
Wait, but let me ask you a question. So your homies are playing it, right?
Yes.
They don't know High C, but they're hearing it. They're bumping it.
Yes.
When they finally seen High C and seen he was black, they go,
No, they actually embraced him. They actually thought it was dope.
Okay.
That if I could say this, or that her brother was rapping over like some homie style music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure they're like, what?
Yeah. So Steve asked me again. He said, "Hey man, we need to do another one. And do you have another good oldie?" So I just flipped over the record because it was an oldies compilation. They had Billy Stewart sitting in the park. We did the same thing. Go ahead and loop this beat, Steve. Do it again. I'm not thinking anything.
Yeah.
Long story short, Disney comes looking for us at the swap meet. One of the tapes they got, Who's High C? It's a guy, he raps, but he sells weight. High C sold clothes at the Rhodium, and he was working for some French guy. So I walked this guy over, and do you remember Stuart Cohen? Stuart, him. It was him. He came.
Okay.
He came, and so he walked Crawford, this guy right here, he says he works for Disney. He gave me his card, and I believe I still have his card. And he said he wants to sign us. And I said, I don't know. You're probably going to have to talk to my manager, Steve, because we weren't looking for a record deal.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it meant to be signed,
Right.
you know? So 6 months later passes, we hear nothing. And then Steve calls me from Florida at my homie's house and says, "Hey, I'm flying in. I'll be in there Monday. Hollywood Records wants to meet us, and they want to sign us for $140,000, $40,000 for the single, $100,000 for the album. So you're going to start producing." And I don't know how to produce, Steve. I just do mixtapes.
Right.
So that's how that happened.
Just cleared up a lot for me. I couldn't understand it because I was just like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
that's crazy.
I know. But you know what? It's been dope, and me and Crawford are still doing shows. So I really like that at 56, and I don't even know how old he is, 50 something.
Hey, but let's say that again. Crawford's a dope performer.
Yes, he is.
On stage,
Yes.
I see is
Yes, he
he
is.
rocking.
Yes, he is. So, you know, I mean, I had a great time because in the early 90s when we all toured, whether it was Second to None, AMG, and Quik,
Yeah.
I was spinning for them. So I was kind of like the Mexican Fuse, you know?
Right.
You know, and I had a great time, bro. One thing, I kept a lot of pictures because one thing about Steve, he took a lot of pictures. So all these pictures, I give Steve his flowers and give him his credit because if it wasn't for him taking these pictures and then literally developing them and then giving them to us, I just kept everything. I wouldn't have took pictures back then,
Yeah.
you know, so. Do you have any pictures personal pictures of Shock and Pac back in the days?
Yeah, I have pictures.
Okay. All right. That'll work. One last question about Shock, and then I want to get into your new music, your shows, and then the beer.
Okay.
Shock, what's one thing that you can tell us about him? And again, the way you explained about Pac, kind of share with us how Shock was or who Shock was to you as a person for the people that will never, ever get a chance to know him.
Well, Shock was to me, I believe, like he was to everybody. You
Okay.
know? And Shock and Tupac, right? As much as people know or think they know, both of them, what they had in common, at least from my perspective, they both wanted to save the world. You know, Pac by galvanizing and organizing and being a leader.
Yeah.
Shock just wanted good for everybody. You know, he wanted to make everybody happy if he could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just a generous person who didn't like to see people, you know, not so.
Yeah.
For example, right? Well past the time when I knew that Shock really didn't want to go out and do shows. He still was planning on doing it just so he can put money in pockets
Yeah.
of our crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or he'll say like, "Man, I already made this many beats for you. I ain't making no more beats for you." But then he'll slide you another beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he just
Okay.
was, when he could look out.
Okay.
You know, he just always wanted to he was a giver.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. If Shock G was here, these would be my questions because I get nerdy when it comes to the technical side of producing.
Let's go.
What inspired the and fucking Humpty Dance?
Bro, I don't know. That bass line?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, because I remember the night that they made it, him and Fuse were at the crib. And people don't know, the only reason that the Humpty Dance was made is because there was a song that we couldn't get cleared. So it wasn't even one of the original songs for the album. Humpty Dance and Freaks of the Industry were like the two last songs
Oh,
that
wow.
were recorded. And Humpty Dance was made as a result of a song not being cleared, a song called Underground Systems. It had
Okay.
like a Kraftwerk sample,
Oh, shit.
Band Machine. We couldn't get it cleared. And so we had to do it, and we were leaving to go to Europe. And when we made Humpty Dance, we had a little more leeway, right?
Yeah.
So that was well before that. I'm sorry. But I just know that it was a song made after we had turned in the first version of the album. Then it was like, oh, we got to do some more, right? So I just remember they were at Shock Spot that he had with Sleuth and Fuse over there. They was, working on music. And I just remember that night, I just decided to go out. I was like, whatever, I'm about to go kick it.
Yeah.
So I went out, and then I just remember coming back, and then the next day they played it for me, and I still have the 4-track version of it.
Oh, wow.
I still have that cassette, right? Just even hearing it on the 4-track. As soon as I heard it and heard that bass line and heard it, I was like, we out of here.
Fuck,
I
bro.
knew it.
As soon as I heard, do a bit, man.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard that.
But it was just one of those undeniable songs.
Yeah.
As soon as you heard it, it was like it wasn't even a question.
Now, I believe the bottom beat was from, and I'm trying to remember the guy's name. My goodness.
You talking about Sly?
And the Family Stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sing a simple
song.
song.
And the way, the bottom that he added to it,
Yeah.
boom, boom, and then everybody bit the clap from him.
Yeah.
The clap, clap.
Yep. And that was that thing from the black hole.
Thing from the black hole, bro. Because
Parliament.
the bottom beat, the bass line, the clap, the Parliament sample of the dude.
Yeah, that was Let's Play House by Parliament.
Bro, like,
So he put that shit together, and but I think your original question was like, how did he come up with that bass line?
yes.
He just did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
how funky he was.
So that would
He
be
came
my
up with it.
that would be my question for him, and then the other one would be, I like creatively how he sampled Knee Deep on Kiss You Back.
Yeah. But he showed us how he did it.
He showed you what?
How he
The
made
Humpty?
the bass line.
Oh, really?
So the keyboard that he used, it was like a rolling, it had like a joystick. You know them keyboards? So it's the ones
Yes.
that you can bend it.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh.
playing. So people think that he's going to do like he's playing it,
Uh-huh.
but the bass line is like he was using like a joystick.
Like the glide.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't a glide, but it was like
Yes.
it came up and he was.
So he was just hitting it.
Yeah, he was hitting it and playing it. The combination of how it just,
Fuck.
and then I forget which exact keyboard it was. I want to say it was a Roland something, but yeah.
Wow.
So so I actually watched him play it a bunch of times, but how he came up with it,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I could keep going on because I can go to was it Donna Summer? On.
But that was the third
Yeah.
version of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so because we used Diana Ross, that's why it goes, if there's a cure for this, because we sampled Diana Ross, Love Hangover.
Yes.
Couldn't get it cleared. And then sampled, was it George Benson or Tom Brown? Love in the Masquerade?
I think it's Tom Brown.
Okay, Tom Brown.
Yeah, either that or George, but you're right.
It was one of them.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat, tell us which one it is. That was the second version. He was Jehovah's Witness. He wouldn't clear it. He didn't fuck with
Oh,
hip-hop.
wow.
So we had to do it one more time. And both of those versions were super slow. They were like in maybe 69 or 70 something.
Yeah.
Real slow tempo. Real silk doom, doom, doom,
Yeah.
doom, doom, right? And so we couldn't figure out what we were going to use. And now that song, I knew we had to leave to go to Europe. right after,
Right.
like the next day. So we had to get it done. And we were in because we were working at High Street Studios in San Francisco,
Okay.
right? And so we were in that area, and Shock was like, I got it. And so we found a record store on Mission, like in the Castro district, which is, that district is like West Hollywood.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Rainbow glitter all over the streets. but we found a dope record store right over there, right? And went to the studio, and it was kind of like what you said. Like, in a sense, I kind of remember sampled some stuff, but Fuse was doing some stuff
Right.
live, recording.
Right.
Of course, he was doing this using the Dolomite stuff.
Yes.
But the thing about that was the version that you guys know is like 96 beats per minute, which was a departure from the original version, which was like 70 something.
Yeah.
Right. And so we recorded it, and then we went to Europe. And I just remember going like, man, ain't nobody gonna like this song. It's too fast. Because I was so used to hearing it, but nobody else had ever heard it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So what we did was, even though Freaks in the Industry was never a single, but it became one of our biggest records.
Big fucking song, especially
right?
here, girls loved
Yeah,
it.
so it became like a street single, right? The people made it a
Yes,
single.
the people did.
Yeah, so it gets played on the radio just like it is, but it wasn't. But what we did and what Tommy Boy did, went ahead and pressed up 2,500 DJ, promotional copies.
From 12 inches?
12 inches.
Okay.
Red vinyl with all 3 versions on it.
Oh, wow.
So well, if I ever get my hands on my vinyl, I have some somewhere that I'm waiting on. But I can send you all the other versions of it.
Please.
Yep.
Fuck.
So, and then that's how we kind of like but we got around them, because we still like the original versions.
Yeah.
But if it's promo and you're not selling it, they can't sue you. So we gave it away.
Oh.
But we only pressed up 2,500 copies.
Okay.
So it's a rare vinyl if you get it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. You know what? There's so much that I want to ask you, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to speed things along, because I know you talk about your new music. Is this under Digital Underground or under Raw Fusion?
No, this is Money B.
Okay.
And I haven't done a Money B. This is the first Money B project. Well, it's the first Money B official project, like an album.
Mm-hmm.
I did a Money B album in 2000 called Talkin' Dirty. Since then I've done compilations, and I did like a couple of mixtapes.
Yes.
But under the title Money B, an official release. This is the first one since 2000. It's always been Digital Underground, Raw Fusion, Money B and Young Hump.
Yeah.
Money B and Scott. And always been a group situation.
Yeah.
So this is my first solo effort officially in like 24 years.
Awesome.
Honestly. But the single is, it features Guap Dad 4000,
Okay.
one of the younger cats. I'm not sure if you know who that is.
No,
He's
I'm
out
not sure.
out of Oakland.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, it's the older generation meets the younger generation, which
That's
is
awesome.
a mix from the Bay.
Yeah.
And it's produced by Excellence, who is
Okay.
a producer out of Chicago, 2-time Grammy-winning producer. So he's produced for Kanye, Wiz Khalifa. He did that. I Was Getting Some Head for Shauna.
Oh, shit.
He's worked with NLE Chopper, Twister, just,
Everybody, yeah.
but yeah, he's a real deal. So I did a whole project with him, but the single is produced by him, featuring Guap Dad. It's called Sit Next to Me. And we just, it's real funky. Like, I can't wait for you to hear it. But what's very unique about this single is that it's going to be released on a Web3 platform called Gala Music exclusively, right?
Okay.
And, I always tell people, everything is circular, it's full circle. So you remember when we first started, it was all about the independence.
Right.
Right? So now coming back to it, it's kind of like, with streaming, where they take all of your money and and it's hard to, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, with Web3, I feel like it gives you that freedom back, and it kind of puts control back in the hands of the artist, and it also allows you to share directly with your community, you know, through Web3. So, you know, I'm excited to, you know, release this new single, Gala Music, Sit Next to Me, featuring Guap Dab 4000, produced by Excellence. Gala Music, Gala, I think it's music.gala.com.
Okay, when can people? What is the date for this? So when can people expect this?
It's coming very soon.
Okay.
Right? So summertime's coming.
Okay.
You'll be jamming.
Awesome.
Right?
Awesome.
You know, I don't want to share the date
Okay.
right now, but it's coming very soon.
Well, they can always follow you on Instagram, and I'm sure you will definitely.
Yeah, so you definitely want to follow me on Instagram at MoneyB69 or Twitter at MoneyB69 or TikTok at MoneyB69. See where I'm going with that, right? Young kids always get the same.
Right.
Keep your name the same. But yeah, at MoneyB69, mostly on Instagram, even on Discord. You know, if you are in Web3 at MoneyB6, you know, MoneyB69 is my name on there. And if you're on Facebook still, then the Digital Underground Facebook page is where you can get that information. But you definitely want to follow me. You want to join Gala Music, right? And get an account, because the music will be exclusively, and the video is fire too.
Oh, so it's already done?
Yeah, it's done, bro.
Awesome.
Liddy. I'll show it to you.
Yes, please.
Done with this. So you
please. Awesome.
See it. But for everybody else, you got to go sign up to Gala Music. Follow me on Instagram at MoneyB69, or, you know, on Facebook. What do? The fan pages like it, or you?
Yeah, they just like it, and then they get the updates or the posts.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, I'm just excited to be on this platform. I've just, you know, I've always been into, I've been into Web3 for some years, and I just feel like it's more of a direct line to your community, your followers, because not only are you they support you by supporting your music, but through Web3 you can support your supporters.
Yes.
You know, so you can build a community, and you guys kind of build it together. And there's other ways that you can earn sort of like credits back and everything like that. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just really excited about what's going on with the music, right?
Yes.
And
as far as I'm sorry, I have to ask you this because I want to see you perform. When can people see you perform under the Digital Underground? Because I know you have Young Hump.
Yep. Okay. Young Hump. Myself and Young Hump, we are, and DJ Always, we're the current configuration on stage of Digital Underground. Bro, I'm gonna post our schedule on my Instagram page and my story, and I'll post it once a week. So follow me. You can always check and see where we are to make sure we get to your city. I know that we're doing the Greek Theater here in LA in October. We're gonna, you know, just off the top, August 25th, I know we'll be in the Bay Area in San Jose. We'll be in Fresno. Going to Chicago in like 10 days. Then after that, we're going to like Kansas, then to Buffalo, New York the following week.
Hell yeah.
We're doing the State Fair in Sacramento, July 19th. We're doing the State Fair in Syracuse, New York in August. Bro, we just rocking and rolling.
That's
right
dope,
now.
man. That's dope.
So,
that's awesome. Money.
So, yeah. Digital Underground fan page on Facebook, or at MoneyB69 on Instagram. I'm definitely going to post, you know, all of our schedule. But even in my link tree, I'm going to have the links to get directly to Gala Music, or to, you know, to the Digital Underground merchandise site, which is dumerch.com. The only place you can get official Digital Underground merchandise. So even there, you know, we're going to interweave, you know, the merch with the beer, with the music. So all you have to do is log in and connect to any of our platforms, and it connects you to the whole ecosystem of Digital Underground.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about this because these are mine, if I'm correct.
Yes, these are yours.
See, I want to try one.
One to drink and one to just
one to
keep.
save. Yes,
You gotta make sure I sign that thing too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put it right here. Hold on.
Right. So Shock G Forever, Golden Ale,
Yes.
brewed by Hella Coastal at Oak Park Brewery in Sacramento, California. Yeah, man, this was a labor of love. Started off as a memorial to Shock G, 3 years ago when he passed, but now we're releasing it into the market and actually distributing it so that we can share it with the world. It won Best Beer Label on USA Today 2023.
Wow.
The taste is amazing. It's a golden ale.
Yeah.
So if you're a beer connoisseur, you will love this beer.
It's something that I want to do.
It's if you are in the LA area, we're having a release party at Escala K-Town this Friday.
Okay.
8 to 2 p.m. Young Hump from Digital Underground is going to be on the ones and twos.
Awesome.
Rocking the house. So come and get your...
Are you guys going to be selling any of these? Any of these will be on hand over there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's all
Awesome.
about, that's what it is. I was just about to say, come to Escala, enjoy the beer, get your can signed. I'm going to be doing can signing.
Yeah.
So you definitely, because this is definitely a can you want to keep. It's a beautiful can, right?
Beautiful can.
Yeah, so you definitely want to get it signed by myself and Young Hump. And, it's probably going to be some other faces that you recognize.
This looks awesome just being up here as a collectible.
Yeah, man, it is a collectible.
Okay.
But you got to drink one.
I will. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
There's something that I want to show you that I've kept since then that I need
Sure.
I need you to sign for me. Your original glossy.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and show you guys this.
I like how I got it still in the in the plastic. Because that's where mine is.
Okay, because that's where we label mates. You guys, and I always who's I still have as well? Organized Confusion.
Yeah, same label, right? So I got a text from Peps, who's my partner in the beer. That keyboard was the Roland. Is it the DIIS keyboard or DI? I just fucked it up, but I know it was a Roland.
Okay.
For real, for real.
Here's the marker right here, and I'm gonna record you.
You want me to open it and sign it?
Yeah,
or you want me to sign it?
no, you can open it and sign it. Okay. So once again, here live on Rhodium Radio, I got Money B signing his own glossy that I kept since 1992, and actually that was taken in 1991.
Yeah.
1991, signing it live right here, and it's an honor to have Money B here after. And also, a lot of people don't know. I know we were once label mates, Hollywood Basic, Hollywood Records, owned by Disney. But there it is. Finally getting my glossy signed so that I can hang it up here in my studio.
You got to get Fused to sign it one day, too.
Yes, sir.
Make it complete.
Yes, sir.
See what it says? To my brother, Tony A.
To my brother.
Love
Tony
you,
A.
fam.
Love you, fam. Wow, this is awesome.
You know?
And I still love Fuse's jacket right there, too. That's dope.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm noticing now. Was that the Hollywood Basic jacket?
That was.
I still have mine.
Damn, I wish I still had mine.
It had our names right here and everything.
Yep. And it had the little record.
Yes.
No, it was a cassette.
The cassette, but it was like blue, black.
Yeah, it was blue and black.
Yeah.
Right? Because Def Jam had the record needle.
Uh-huh.
Or the record arm, I'm sorry. And Hollywood Basic had the cassette.
There you go, guys. Finally got it signed. Money, anything I didn't ask you? Anything that you want to promote? Anything you want to share? Anything you want to say? Because there's just so much that I can ask you, bro. But maybe one day we'll do a part 2, So cause that way I can ask other things because there's just so much that I want to ask.
No, that's good. You know what I want to do real quick? I just want to make sure that I'm giving everybody the correct URL for Gala Music because I really want everybody to be able to check it out. Let me see.
Okay.
It's really quick. It's it's music.gala, GALA
Okay.
.com, and that's where you'll be able to sign up and you know, get my new single. And I'm gonna be releasing, you know, a lot of music through the platform, right?
Okay.
And you definitely want to go now so that you can get familiar with the Web3 experience. And also throughout the process, I'll be doing live streams and Discord chats and even on IG, sort of like just answering questions. Anybody that needs help onboarding or whatever, you know, how to, you know, if you need to make a MetaMask wallet or whatever it is, you know, I'm gonna put myself out there and show everybody what to do it. At the same time, I'm gonna be drinking this delicious Shock G Forever Golden Ale.
Oh yeah.
If you're in LA, you can get it at, like I said, a Scholar K-Town this Friday.
Yeah.
Or you can get it at Delicious Pizza. It's available there right now.
Okay.
And you know, we're slowly, you know, it's in a lot of places up in the Bay.
Right.
And we're just starting to distribute and move down into Southern Cal.
Yeah.
Right now we only distribute, or it's only available in shops and in stores in California. But hopefully soon. Oh, and in California you can order it at OPB. I think it's OPB Brew or opbrew.com.
Okay.
Oak Park. Just look up Oak Park Brewery or Shock G Golden Ale.
Okay.
Because if you live in California, you can order it and have it shipped.
Okay. If you could text me the link, whatever.
Yeah.
I want to order some.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, if you're in California, no matter where you are in Cali, you can get it shipped.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll have a national direct-to-consumer distribution soon, hopefully. But right now, we're going to keep it exclusive to California.
Okay.
Like In and Out.
Yeah.
You got to come here to get it.
Feel me? I have to do this. My friend James Jones was here earlier. He owns several dentistries. It's Cal Dental, yes.
Oh,
and
wow.
This is a teeth whitening kit.
Uh-oh.
So you got one in here for yourself. This was just a demo to show you how it works.
How does
but
it work?
All the instructions are in here. So once again,
Does it
James
work?
Jones. It works. Yeah, check it out.
Let me see your teeth.
No, let me see. Check it out. He hasn't given me one, but this is for his good. But
Did you put this in your mouth
no, but that's just a demo.
Okay.
The demo. The other one's over there.
Which one? Where's
I guess inside. It's inside.
This is the demo. Oh.
See.
I got a toothbrush. Hey.
There you go. Cal Dental, once again, at the very beginning, you guys saw the. Are you sure?
I got robbed. Oh.
Okay, if not, I have another one in there. But he said, James, you said that was just a demo. The other one should be in there. But I'll give it to you. I have another one in the other room.
Okay, yeah, you got to tie me up.
Okay.
I need white teeth.
Now, do me a favor and sign my can for me.
Oh, hell yeah.
The beer can. Okay, let's do that.
Word.
Once again, Shock G Beer Golden L being signed live right now on Rhodium Radio.
Shock G Forever.
Shock G Forever. Golden L being signed by Money B. Thank you, my brother. So I'm going to post this up. Let everybody check it out. You can order it. I'll give you guys all the details on the description. So definitely check that out. All right. But other than that, you want to give some shout outs, my bro?
Yep. Shout out to the Nitsa Peps. You know, we rocking with this Shock G Golden Ale. My brother Ray Love, my brother Cullen out there in Texas. Happy birthday. It was your birthday a couple of days ago. Happy birthday to my little sis, Malika. Shout out to Teasy, love of my life. Cletus Mack. Who else? Who else is out there?
Hold it up so I can take a picture.
The whole Digital Underground crew. You know, we rocking like that. Mystic. Shout out to Nummy, Essential out in Europe right now, doing their thing. Young Hump, DJ Always, coming to a city near you. You got a good ass camera.
Thank you, my bro.
God damn, I need that for my 8x10. Just take a picture of me.
All right, let's do it. Let's see. Hold on.
Like this.
Wait right there, you guys. Let me back it up.
Wait, this could be my my beer demo.
There you go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Look at this.
Yeah, man, you got to send that to me.
I will.
I'm going to put that on Instagram tonight.
Hell yeah. All right, thank you.
Yeah, but just, you know, I'm always doing something. So just follow me.
Yes.
Oh, shout out to my brother Pook Diesel too. We got some stuff in the works as well. You know, I'm trying to break into Hollywood somehow, some way.
Hey,
he's
somehow,
gonna help
some
me.
way.
He's gonna help me.
Absolutely. Okay. Once again, my shout outs. Once again, I want to give a shout out to CMG of the Conscious Daughters and also BTP
Happy birthday, sis.
Media, BTP Media, my boy Jeff Kwan, and also DJ Nasty Ness. Much love and respect.
Oh, word. You know, shout out to Excellence, Sweet Juices, my man Reese, Cohart from Crucial Conflict, entire, you know, my guys out, and because this album or this collection of music that I did,
Yeah.
it's like I said, me and Excellence, we did a full project, and so it's Chicago meets, you know,
Yeah.
West Coast meets the Midwest per se.
Dope.
And so, like I said, I'm gonna be in Chicago in about 10 days, but you know, that's my fam out there. This whole album was done, you know, Chicago production
Yeah.
and some dope Chicago artists, and just the energy and the love reminds me of the Bay, being out there with those guys. So shout out to, you know, the West Side, Chicago. Be there in a minute.
Awesome. Awesome.
Midway, pick me up.
Let me go ahead and give my shout outs once again. I want to thank everybody on the live chat, everybody who decided not to be on the live chat, everybody who liked, comment, subscribed. I want to thank everyone who made this night possible. Thank you for tuning in. Let me give a shout out to Alex Cervantes Enterprise, also to my son B. Scanless, also to the Hip Hop Jedi, Marvelous Inc., also to our moderator, Magic Girl. Much love and respect.
Scanless is your son?
B. Scanless, that's his name.
No, I see him on Instagram. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to B. Scanless. Oh, shout out to the whole Gala Music crew, right? Ray Love, Layla Steinberg, everybody over there, the whole Oak Park Brewery crew, you know. Man, we rocking.
All good. So once again, thank you guys. Much love and respect. We'll be back on Sunday. We're out of here. Once again, much love to Money B for making this possible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my brother.
Oh, y'all.
Hey, yo, I want to give a special shout out to Cal Dental USA. They taking dentistry to the next level. I'm wishing all the employees, you know, a real, just safe quarantine, man, during this time. I know it's tough. But look, if you need a dentist from LA to the OC, they got you covered, man. Like Hustle Man would say, the marathon continues. You heard?
What's that, brother?